So tonight's lesson is 3.5 on using a compass. So first let's just take a look at the two figures right here, these two circles that are on the first page. And just a little refresher that the radius is exactly from the midpoint of the circle to any point on the edge of the circle. So that's the radius, and the radius is exactly half the diameter. So the diameter is if I drew a line all the way through the circle, and the radius is half. So just to get some of the vocabulary there, just brush off the cobwebs from last year. If you've forgotten some of that over the summer. And so I'm just having you look at these circles first, have that in your mind's eye. And then I'm just going to click over to a YouTube video of the use of a compass. So how do I use a compass? What does it look like? How do I operate it? And how do I use it to construct either a circle or a line segment? So I'm just going to flip over here. And let's see. Let's make this full screen. And I'm just going to have you watch this.
In this next lesson, 3.5, we're going to be using a compass. So I just want to show you a couple things about a compass. This is what it looks like. I'm sure you've all seen them before. So this is the anchor. This is where I'm going to place it down when I want to create something, and that should stay still. So this, of course, the closer together that you bring these, so here's the wide open, closer. The closer together I bring the tip of the pencil to the anchor, that is going to lessen or shorten the length of the radius of a circle or the length of a line, depending on what you're trying to create. And if I open it wider, of course, that's going to make the radius of my circle or the length of a line longer. All right, so I first want to start by taking a look at this ruler. We can also call it a straight edge. So if you didn't have any markings on it anywhere, but it was straight, and we could use it for creating a straight line, we just refer to that as a straight edge. So let's just pretend it's a straight edge. And I'm just going to go ahead and create a line segment. So I created that line segment there. I'm just going to put some endpoints on it. Okay, so how can I go about using my compass to create the exact same length of a line someplace else on my page? So I would just take my compass and open it up to the exact, so the length of the line segment. So my pencil's on one end and my anchor's on the other. And then what I can do is start with my straight edge. And I'm just going to draw a line. It doesn't really matter how long it is. I'm just kind of eyeballing it and making it a little bit longer than the last one. And then I'm going to go ahead and give this an end point. And I'm going to line up my anchor with the end point. And now I'm just going to intersect that line using my compass. And so now what I've done, let's call this one, let me scooch this over so you can see it. Let's call this one line segment AB. And then let's call this one line segment. We're going to put some, I'm going to make a dot there where that line intersects, that arc intersects with the line I drew originally. And let's just call this one CD. So AB is equal to CD. And how do I know that? Because I didn't need a ruler, I just used my compass. And I just figured out how wide that was. I came over here, I made a hash mark, or an arc rather, right there. And that's how I know that AB is equal to CD. So this is going to come in handy. So we're going to experiment with this in lesson 3.5, and then in lesson 3.6, you're going to be using a straight edge, your compass, and some other tools to reconstruct or to construct from scratch some triangles.
Okay, I'm going to come back to the notebook here. All right, so hopefully that was helpful, just giving you a sense of how to use the compass, how you can use it to reconstruct a line segment. You can also use it to create a circle. And then the next slide that I want to have you take a look at is showing some intersecting line segments. Okay, so you can see that right here, ABE, okay, that could actually create an angle, ABE, and we know that's a line, so that's going to be 180 degrees. So if you look down here, you can see that, so let's see if I can use my pen to point out what I'm talking about. So right here, if I look at angle ABC, and then I look at angle DBE, so let's see, how about some color? That might help. Let's do that. So angle ABC, that one, and angle DBE, the one on the bottom there, these two angles are what we refer to as vertical angles or opposite angles. It's another name for it. Maybe write that over here. So these are called opposite angles or vertical angles. Oops. There we go. Okay, so one thing there's a couple things about, I'm just going to get rid of the pen for you there. A couple things about opposite angles. And one is that they are always equal. So they're right opposite each other, vertical angles, and they're equal in terms of their angle measurement. So this one right here is equal to this one right here. Okay? So, and again, when we're looking at vertical angles, we can also call them opposite angles. All right. Then the next set of angles we're going to look at are adjacent angles. I'll pick the same ones that I have written down here. So angle ABC, right there, and angle CBE, this one right here, are adjacent angles, meaning they're right next to each other. And notice that they share this line segment right there, okay? And now, what do we know about, let me change my color, straight lines? We know that the measure of this angle right here, a straight line, is 180 degrees, okay? So if we know that's 180 degrees, then we know that angle ABC and angle CBE, when added together, they have to equal 180 degrees. So you can use that information to help you solve problems, okay? I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Okay, so let's see, what else did I want to include for your video tonight? I think that's it. All right, so maybe practice a little bit. If you have a compass at home, just kind of play around with it. If not, you're going to get plenty of opportunities tomorrow in class. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.